And just a first-class guy. Welcome, Dr. David McKalip.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just drove down from Inverness, where we had a crowd of about 1,000 patriots gathered outside their courthouse, rallying for liberty, and they're getting ready to take to the streets as an army of freedom fighters. And before we're done here, before I forget, I want to charge each and every one of you. You folks are freedom fighters. And you are to be congratulated for remembering what America was built on. It was built on individual liberty. It was not built on government control. And each one of you, this is my charge to you, each one of you needs to recruit an army of freedom fighters. And you need to go to the open-minded. You don't need to go to the ones who have already made up their minds that the government is the end-all be-all. You need to go to the ones who are wondering what's going on, and you need to say, like Glenn Beck says, if you're on the Titanic, you go up and you say, hi, the ship is sinking, and if they turn around and they keep drinking at the bar, you just ignore them, okay? And you go to them, someone turns around and goes, it's sinking, and you go, yeah, come with me, we'll talk about it on the way out. Those are the people you need to recruit, the open-minded. So I'm here to talk to you today about an impending government takeover of medicine. Our government has concocted a crisis, and Rahm Emanuel says never waste a great crisis. In fact, they'll invent one if they have to. And they've concocted a crisis that they're going to solve with in a means where they created it. The crisis, the real crisis, is that health insurance is unaffordable for a lot of people. There are people who can't afford to get the health care they need. But that's not what they're going to solve, because they don't have any method that they're proposing to drive down the cost of health insurance. What they're going to do is create health insurance that they set the value of. They're going to turn the keys of the kingdom over to the insurance companies, and then you, each and every one of you, is going to be forced to buy that overpriced product, and if you don't, you're going to pay a tax. And that's called an individual mandate, and that's what's coming. There's another thing they want to produce. There's something called a public option. Now, Medicare, which is the greatest Ponzi scheme ever created, short of Social Security, has 42 million people on it. 42 million. They want to create a government-run health insurance plan that will add over 100 million people onto the backs of the American taxpayer. We cannot afford Medicare right now. It's $86 trillion in IOUs. Where was Al Gore's lockbox when Congress came knocking on the door for money? They went to that Medicare money that they stole out of your paychecks every day for your entire working lives. They took it to Washington and they turned it into a feeding trough for a bunch of lobbyists and politicians to build bridges to nowhere, to create union benefits, to create corporate welfare, to create social welfare. And now it's your turn. You say, Mr. Government, I've done my job. I gave you my tax money. You promised to be there to take care of me when I needed medical care. Can you pay up for my hip replacement now?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
No, we're sorry. We can't afford it anymore. You know, you're getting kind of old. You know, there's a lot of people who need something more, like they need to quit smoking, and we're going to spend money on smoking cessation programs. So you're not going to get your hip replacement. We're sorry. Or, okay, you can have your hip replacement, but you're going to need to wait about 1.5 years to get it. And gosh, I hope you don't die while you're waiting. That would be a shame. That's what's coming in government medicine, because they're going to ration your care. When they take your money and they put it into the hands of the government, or they put it into the hands of the health insurance corporations, they then control how that money is spent. And they've already created something in the stimulus package that passed called the Federal Coordinating Council on Comparative Effectiveness Research. 15 senior-level federal bureaucrats making decisions on how the money that they're going to control is going to be spent. Not one of those people is a practicing doctor. Not a single one. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to have all the money in the hands of government, all the money in the hands of the insurance corporations, but it need not be that way. There's a much better way, and it's simply a matter of restoring your rights as Americans. Rights they stole from you over the last 40 years, over the last 60 years. In World War II, they took away your right to have an individual tax break when you buy health insurance outside of work. The only place where you can get a tax break when you buy health insurance is through your employer. If you don't like your employer, if you don't like your job, too bad. You've got to stay there because you're worried about losing your health insurance. That's wrong. You need to be able to go outside of work and buy your health insurance and not have to worry about losing your tax break because you're doing it on your own. That's a right they took away from you. It's a right they should restore from you. Do you want your own right to buy your own health insurance? Do you want your own tax break? Here's another right they took away from you. Right now, citizens in Massachusetts have grossly inflated health insurance plans. They're not allowed to buy health insurance in Utah. Now, you can buy a suit, you can buy a car, you can buy a bottle of wine, you can buy anything you want across state lines. You can't buy health insurance. That's ridiculous. So what happens is all the lobbyists in each state say we're going to mandate that chiropractic be covered and acupuncture and wigs be covered. Well, gee, I kind of wanted my health insurance there when if I have a heart attack or I get cancer. Okay? If I want chiropractic, that's wonderful. I'll pay for that out of pocket. Thank you very much. You know, we will know that individual liberty and free markets have returned to health insurance when we see the Geico lizard on TV advertising health insurance at lower cost. So we have to be people of action over the rest of the summer, because next to cap and trade, which is another terrible power grab, health care is going to be the issue that will further empower government, because it is going to happen this summer with huge power players that have been building up for the last 8 years, and I've worked with a lot of these power players and I know how they work. And they're all going to be there singing Kumbaya in September, saying, congratulations, we solved all the world's imaginary problems by stealing your money from you and rationing your health care. So it's going to be your job to stop this train. And then once we stop that train, we can get it right on track in the right way when it comes to freedom and individual empowerment and putting money in each of your hands. So here's how you're going to stop that train. What you need to do is you need to go to nogovernmenthealthcare.com. You need to sign up there. Go to nogovernmenthealthcare.com, look for the link to email your senator or your legislator and let them know that you're not going to stand for it. And when you go to nogovernmenthealthcare.com, you'll be signed up for an email list and you'll be contacted about opportunities to work in ways that will fight this train. In addition, you need to participate all summer in town hall meetings. You need to find speaking venues. I'd be happy to come out and speak. I've got different presentations I could give. You need to go there at nogovernmenthealthcare.com. There's links you can follow to download a letter to America's physicians. You download that letter that I wrote and you bring it to the doctor's office and you get the doctor off their butt to fight for you. I'm going to give you one more example of what's going to happen. This is how they're going to use me, your doctor, to ration your care. They're going to force me to comply. Now in January or February, whenever the Porculus bill passed, they created the Health Information Technology Plan, okay? They said, congratulations, doctor, we're going to give you a big fat government check to go buy some computers. $44,000 over 5 years. Of course, it actually costs $120,000 over 5 years. They didn't mention that. And once you buy those computers, which, doctor, you're going to be forced to buy, we're going to make you enter each and every one of your patient's medical data into the computer so the government and the insurance companies can take it and they can decide whether or not you did what you were told, doctor. And if you didn't spend only $15,000 on your patients when you were told to, and you accidentally or intentionally allowed $20,000 to be spent on your patient, doctor, you're going to get a penalty. When you gave that patient antibiotics that you felt the patient needed, doctor, you're going to get a penalty. If you do a hip replacement, if you keep a patient alive who's in a coma, if you allow a premature baby to survive, this is coming, you will get a penalty, doctor. You will not be able to trust your doctors. This is what the government is bringing to you. So if you want to stop this, you need to sign up. nogovernmenthealthcare.com. And I'm going to leave you with something that Winston Churchill said about capitalism. And capitalism and freedom of enterprise and free markets are really the solutions to our problems. I think we can all agree on that. Winston Churchill, when capitalism was being attacked, he said that the inherent vices of capitalism are the unequal sharing of the benefits. Okay, not everyone gets the exact same benefits. But the inherent virtues, so-called virtues of socialism, are the equal sharing of the misery. Right. They want you to all be equally miserable. They want you to live in the same bad healthcare system and all wait in the same lines and all be denied care. We don't need equal misery. This is a land of prosperity. This is a land of freedom. It was free enterprise that brought us here. It's freedom and individual action that makes us Americans and great. We don't need government destroying our lives and our health care. So rise up now. NoGovernmentHealthcare.com. Thank you.